All right, here we go. Now, doing an interview that I've been anticipating, interviewing the celebrity for so very long.
Mm-hmm.
For some years. You're a celebrity, aren't you, Mom?
Well,
This is my mother.
I don't know about that.
Patricia Ann Thomas. I was able to talk to your sister, my Aunt Wanda. Original name was... Does Aunt Wanda have a middle name?
Lee.
Wanda Lee Gibson was the original name, but
Mm-hmm.
her birth name. But she is smart. She is smart, but
Yes.
she's a smart.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said on Aunt Wanda's video, I just was wanting to try to get some family history, or matriarchs, patriarchs, or elders in our family are getting in their senior years, and so they are in their senior years. So
Yes.
if we don't capture the stories, who's going to be left to tell the story of our history?
Mm-hmm.
Some things that I heard, some fascinating stories, through the years of us talking about some things, and but I just wanted to just kind of get some things down, get it down, record it, and then we could put it to pen and paper later on. But I need to get some of it down as much as we can capture. So
I'm
we got to
so glad you're doing it too.
Aunt Wanda was also glad. Your brother, Uncle Luther, said he was very glad, happy too.
Yeah.
Need to make sure we get Aunt Sarah. Aunt Sarah's 90. She'll be 98, I believe, this year.
She already 98.
Ooh.
She
That's right. She just had
90
her birthday. She just had her birthday.
April the 20th.
Yeah. So we need to. That's your mother's sister.
Right.
One of the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess we can just jump right in, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, we need to go back. So you heard Aunt Wanda's perspective. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She was younger. See, Aunt Lucy was the baby.
Yes. Yes, I think she
The
was
living baby.
2 and 3.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, and Aunt Wanda was 3. 2 and 3. We mean 2 and 3. Order.
Yeah.
In order.
Either she was 2 or 3.
Okay, so. Oh, okay. Here's. I want to just make sure this is correct. So I was writing down. Here we go. Okay, now. Okay, I think I got this from either you or from Aunt Wanda. So now let's look at the Gibson side. Your father's name was
Curtis Gibson.
Curtis Gibson,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife was
Willa Boyd. That's my mom. They called her Bill.
okay.
You don't have that, do you?
Yeah. What's your mom's name?
Willa. Her name was Willie James, but they changed it when she started to school to Willa, because my grandma said that granddaddy wanted a boy, so he named her Willie James. So when she started to school, Miss Rush, I think her name was then, changed her name to Willa.
Okay. All right. And your father's name was, this is Luther. Who's Doc Boyd?
That's my granddaddy.
Your granddad. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see here. Oh, okay. This is okay, so the Gibson side, your grandmother's name was?
On my daddy's side was Julia Streets. That was my grandmother on my daddy's side. I don't think you got that, did you?
Yeah, I got all these people. I should have done my due diligence and went through this before we.
And put them in order, huh?
Well, I got the Gibsons and then I got the Boyds. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see Julia nowhere. I see
Julia right here.
down there, but that's Aunt Velma's kids right here.
Okay. So I got Ernest, Sarah, Margie. Who's these siblings?
Yeah, they are. And my daddy, Curtis.
Curtis and Velma.
Mm-hmm.
And then who am I missing?
Aunt Sarah.
Sarah's right here. That's on Sarah Hughes.
Yeah.
Ernest, Sarah, Margie, Curtis, Velma. Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I knew.
So that's then they had. Now Curtis was your grandfather.
Curtis was my
Your dad. Okay, your
That's
dad.
him right there.
Okay, so this is the Boyd side.
Mm-hmm.
and I did not write all of them.
You got your pen?
Oh, here they go. Here they go, right here. Here they go.
Okay.
Evelyn, Horatius, Molly,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, Ida, Willa. That was your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kitty, John, and Luther.
Yeah.
They're all right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I went through, so Ernest's kids was Joanne, Sonny, June, Jeannie, and Mary Kay and Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ernest. And then Curtis's kids was Uncle Kurt. This is your
Yeah.
folks. Uncle Curtis, Uncle Luther, my mom, you, Patty, Joyce, Wendy, Kathy, and Lucy.
Where did that Wendy come from?
Wanda. That's Wanda. Did I say Wendy or Wanda?
That's what you said, Wendy, and you got to look like a Y there.
I said Wendy. Okay, that's my terrible handwriting. So Wanda, you said, where did Wendy come from? We made her up. So Aunt Wanda's new name is Wendy. Aunt Wanda Wendy Lee.
Okay.
Okay, and then Aunt Sarah had Jackie and Leonard.
Right.
Okay. Now, did somebody say they had another? Oh, that was Julia said she had another brother. But anyway, Aunt Velma had Peggy, Julia, Jimmy, and Leslie.
Leonard.
Leslie Leonard. That's one person.
Mm-hmm.
Was there another brother? Was it that Julia had, or was it Jimmy's?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Which one of these are still living? Of Julia's. She got a brother still living?
Of Julia's.
Julia's siblings.
No, she only had
kids.
one.
Was Leonard?
And that, we had his funeral. What was his name? Felisa, what was his name? What was Julia's son's name?
Not son. I'm talking about her siblings.
Oh, that was it. It was just Julia and Peggy and Jimmy and Leslie Leonard.
Okay.
That's all of them.
And then Aunt Margie had Curtis and Michael.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got that. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on this side, Aunt Evelyn, she didn't have any kids.
No.
Okay. Aunt Sarah had Emma, Jim, and Nina.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Kitty for Aunt Kitty was Gregory, Alan, Willa, Tessie, Johnny, and Mary Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Horatius didn't have any children.
No.
Aunt Ida had Patsy, Michael, Rose, Yvonne, Marcia, Yolanda. Uncle John didn't have any children.
You got Mike, Rose.
Yeah, Mike, Rose, Patsy,
Who was
Yvonne, Marcia, and Yolanda, the twins.
Mm-hmm.
That's hers.
Marcia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle John had 0.
Right.
Aunt Molly had Barbara.
Right. That's
Okay.
all. Mm-hmm.
And then Willa. Who's Willa? Was that one that passed?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Willa had Luther and Dwayne. They called him Uncle Junior.
Well, where you get that Willa from?
Wasn't that one of the siblings? That's Bill.
That's her mom.
If it's my mom, you know all my mom's kids.
So your mom's kids.
I don't think you have them there.
I got y'all. Oh, okay. I know why I didn't have them there, because it's the same here. It's the same here. Willa and Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
This is your mother,
Yeah,
your
you
father.
need to straighten your paper out.
Yeah, that's why I put a star by it, because
Yeah.
I already have him listed here. A star by his name and that name.
Okay.
So Uncle Luther, they called him Uncle Junior, right?
You're right, Uncle Junior.
That's
Boyd.
what had
We
Dwayne.
called him all
Junior Boyd.
All of that, Uncle Junior Boyd.
He had Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will get this all straightened out. Okay, eventually I'll get it all straightened out. So let's go back, Mom. Let's go back to when you were as early as you can remember. Okay, as early as you can remember. What year were you born? First of all, 1940. Okay, 1940. In June of 1940. June.
Flag Day, June 14th,
June 14th.
1940.
1940. Now we'll jump right in with the tragedy. So you lost your sister, because Aunt Wanda said she was 4, I believe, when was it Joyce that got choked on that?
Yeah, Joyce was 4 when she died.
Okay.
And because of that,
Wait a minute, Joyce was 4?
I
I thought she was 2, and Aunt Wanda was 4.
maybe that's right. because I remember it, and I was the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
If she was 4, then I was about 5.
I'm pretty sure I want to say she was 4 years old when Joyce.
Well, okay.
She said she couldn't
I was
remember.
5 because we were playing. Believe it or not, we had balloons,
Mm-hmm.
but we also made a balloon out of hog kidney. They would take the
Intestines.
bladder,
Yeah, all the black. Okay. I've
and
heard
we
it.
used to blow it up like a balloon.
Because I've heard of people using it as water sacks also.
Well, probably
Carry
so, but
all
we
water,
played
the Native
with it like a
Americans.
balloon.
Okay.
Mhm. But we did have some balloons out there.
Was she using
Yeah.
that hog bladder? Or
No,
she using, okay.
no, she was using a regular balloon. That's why they thought that she had swallowed that rubber.
Did they find the rubber?
No, it wasn't rubber. It was a
Tapeworm.
tapeworm.
Right, but I was just wondering, is it?
The balloon was on the floor around there somewhere.
So the balloon was on the floor.
Yeah,
So it wasn't.
yeah.
She did. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So
no,
it
it wasn't a balloon.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I could understand why they would think because she was playing with the balloon, and then
Mhm.
and so your father, my granddad, tried to.
Oh
dislodge it.
yes, oh yes. He took her and turned her upside down and was shaking her, and Mama was hollering, "Hurry up, Kurt! She's turning blue! She's turning blue! Hurry up, Kurt!" And he was shaking her for all he could, but it didn't do any good
Mhm.
because we thought it was something that she had swallowed, but it wasn't.
Okay. Let me. Okay. Let's. Now this is a puzzle. She works puzzles all the time. So if you see her looking down, she's working a puzzle, y'all. So I mean, I just kind of wanted undivided attention, but that's.
Well,
Mommy,
but-
you can do what you do. You do what you do. This is we're just having a chit chat.
Okay.
So you can go ahead.
I was wondering what I was
I
going to
just-
do while I was doing.
I'm a little bit selfish like that though. And
What do you
Felisa,
want me to do? Look at that or look at you?
Felisa can be in another room, but I want to see her when we're talking.
Okay.
And she said, I can still hear you, boy. But I want to look at her. But that's just me being selfish. Jeremy. My name should have been Jereme, huh, Mom?
She taught you that, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. All about me. But right now, it's supposed to be all about you.
Okay.
And family. That's what it's supposed to be about. So she's working the puzzle. So the tapeworm, and then Grandpa tried to dislodge it. And
Mm-hmm.
no
Yeah.
success. They had to rush her. Now, one question I did have: did they rush her to the hospital, or they called somebody to come to the house to see about her?
No, they took her in an ambulance to the hospital.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't even remember how they got to the ambulance because there wasn't no phones back then.
Mhm.
And so that part, I don't even know how it happened.
Oh.
I really don't
No.
because we did not have phones.
Now, Wanda talked about that there was, of course, a company doctor that
Mm-hmm.
was there at the camp. Now, was he available all?
Yeah, he was in his office, right down in what they called, we called number 15.
Mm-hmm. So maybe they ran down to his office.
Mm-hmm. Something happened, but we was more concerned about her than
Right.
anything.
So you were probably around 5.
Yeah, if that much.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, but I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because we was all on the porch playing. That's where we spend a lot of our time, on the porch playing.
Mm-hmm. So then she said that they took her. They brought her back to the house. Afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. Then, when they did wakes, you bring the body back to the house and lay them in the house.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, people were nice then. They would, of course, they're still nice, I guess, but all the community would come in and help clean your house and do whatever was necessary to make a place for the body and the make room for the casket and everything in the house. So that's what they did.
Okay.
Now I remember there was two while I was young bodies in the house, and that was Kathy and my dad.
Oh, okay.
They brought both of them home.
Now Joyce, they brought her home too, so it was 3, right? Joyce, Kathy.
Right, but I don't remember her because she was an infant when she passed. I don't remember her.
No,
She was 9 months old, and I must have been about a year or two old.
okay, so that's now. Joyce is the one that had the tapeworm.
Yeah.
Kathy-
No. Kathy. Kathy had the tapeworm.
Okay, so Joyce. Now Aunt Wanda said she was. So you probably you were older. So because she said 6 months. So you said 9 months old when she passed away.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think I remember Aunt Molly telling me about it.
And they said it was
Because the old folks used to say she was born with a veil on her face. I don't know what that means, but they said she would see things because her eyes would be following something up in the ceiling, like she was looking at something.
She could have had a seizure. Who knows?
Yeah.
What they determined what was the cause of death?
No, I don't remember because no one ever told me what was the cause of her death.
Oh, okay. So now, what's some other? Because I know, going back to Aunt Wanda's interview, she's like, her childhood, she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
She had a great childhood, she said, because she didn't have no desire growing up. She liked being a kid, and she said you guys were probably, seemed like you were really close in age, but were you considered being fast?
No.
No, maybe that's not the right word.
Grandma wouldn't let us be fast.
Maybe that's not the right word. Maybe let's change that wording. Let me try to get it.
See how I started.
You wanted to grow up faster, or
I matured faster.
Okay,
I really did mature faster.
That's the better way to say it.
I didn't have nothing to do with that. It just happened.
Because she said you hung with the older crowd, and she was kind of with the younger crowd. But y'all was close in age, though. Seemed like. Wait a minute, wait a minute. You're about what, 4 years apart?
No.
3.
I'm 7. I'll be 72. Wanda's 75. I mean, I'll be 82, and she'll be 75.
So you're more than 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but see, there was kids in between us.
Oh, okay.
The 2 that passed was between me and Wanda.
Oh, okay.
That's why all of those years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can come join in because you can't help get me
Because
straight.
Kathy and Joyce, because I kept saying I wanted an older sister. So my aunts made sure I knew that I was going to be the oldest, regardless if those other 2 had lived. I was still going to be the oldest girl. Because Grandma would tell me, she'd put responsibility on me because I was the oldest.
Now, Mom, I used to like to hear you talk about how Miss Sadie, which was my grandmother, my dad's side,
yes.
you used to talk about how you used to go spend some time with my grandma.
Yeah.
Sadie.
Well, I was 6 years old. I started school from this very house when I was 6 years old. And they had a coal furnace in the kitchen. I used to take a bath in a tin tub in front of the stove in the kitchen. That's where I would take my bath. And that's where, and Pop used to take me down. See, out there, it was nothing but a slate dump. And so it was smoking all the time.
Right on the side of the hill here?
It was right on the road there.
Oh, okay.
Going down Osage. That was a slate dump. And so he would take me to school every morning. Pop, yes.
Okay.
See, Junior wasn't even in the picture because he wasn't even around then.
Because there's 11 years between y'all two.
Right,
so he was
right. He was in service, I believe. Yeah. And so she was a friend of my mom's, and she wanted to help my mother when she had more babies. When she had Wanda, she wanted to help her by starting me to school. So that's how I ended up here in this very house. And I remember how Nanny used to dress me and have bows in my hair. She made dresses out of feed sacks. So I wasn't paying, I don't even remember what my sisters and them were dressed like. But my mom said I got too persnickety against them. So she brought me right back home. I must have had an attitude of showing off my clothes and ribbons and stuff that Nanny would put on me to wear to school.
Okay, Mom. Every now and then, look up at me.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at me sometimes.
Okay.
And look at the camera sometimes.
All right. I'll try to do that. Okay.
Just every now and then. But
Okay.
so that was so you stayed with for a while or just like a couple years? Or?
No, that first year. After about half of that year, I went home.
So you got bougie. What they say.
Yeah, that's what they say now.
That's what they say. You got bougie.
Yeah.
So she brought you on back. Now that didn't break my grandma's and
No,
both of my
it
grandmother's
didn't.
relationship.
But my mom just didn't like the attitude that I had
So she was.
against my brothers and sisters, and I can understand that very well.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because Wanda told me that she remembers also that grandma. Did she come spend some time with grandma too?
Probably.
She said she remembers her doing her hair too. So.
I told you my mother and Nanny were very good friends.
Okay. And so Aunt Corrine and my dad were already gone. Out the house. Okay.
And my mom and Nanny kept up that relationship, and it was good. It was
good.
really good.
Wow.
Yes.
In this house.
And she helped my mom out a lot.
Okay.
And we used to have picnics up here. I don't know if Wanda remember the picnics that Nanny used to have up here. It was a big tree where that pond is now.
Okay.
That was a big tree that
Right there in
fell
this
over.
spot. Oh.
Yes, and that's what made the pond.
Oh,
right
wow.
there. And we used to go up on that hill and have picnics up there. A lot of the church folks would come up and go up there and have a picnic up here. Yeah. I don't know if Wanda remembers that or not, but we used to have quite a bit of picnics up here.
Now, so y'all
Thanks to Nanny.
And y'all lived pretty close.
Well, we lived right over the hill.
Okay.
That was right over the
Just
hill.
right over the hill.
Over the hill. At Purse Glove Hill.
Now, was it all wooded then, or it was coal mines, or?
No, it was wooded. It was wooded, and there was a path going from
Oh.
here to there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So all we had to do is go over the hill.
So you pretty much grew up around here.
Yes, this is home.
And
Period.
so I can feel why you want to still leave it into so much history here.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah. Wow. And then you was able to raise all your kids here.
Yes, yes. And they don't even know half of what, Pop had horses.
Aunt Wanda talked about the horses.
And he had a cow, had chickens. I don't know if he had ducks or not. But then when Junior and I was together, Junior had a goat. And he kept somebody's cow. Well, we had a cow of our own, who was Oscar. Remember?
I remember Oscar. Remember Oscar in the freezer?
Yeah.
I told the story. Tell that story, Mom, about me. I was probably what?
2.
Was I 2?
I'll never forget your 2 years old because you were the worst.
I was
But you always hurt yourself, though. When you'd get upset, you'd kick the sidewalk and hurt your foot or fall down and bust. You kept that head busted open right there. Right there all the time. You hurt yourself more than I hurt you.
Well, I got plenty of scars that say she hurt me pretty good too.
I hurt you.
Well, I got I'll say deserved whippings. We got beat, y'all. We got beat.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But Mom,
what
what about the story about Oscar? With the home start teacher coming?
Oh yeah, she would.
Junior always tell this story about me telling about Oscar in the freezer.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I don't remember that story, but I know that we.
You don't remember the story?
At first we didn't even want to eat Oscar because we had made her up into mostly hamburger. But we didn't want to eat it because we knew it was Oscar that we were eating. But we eventually did.
Well, I'll tell the story since she said she forgot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know there was a story behind
yes,
Oscar. Okay, you remind me then.
You're the one who tells it too.
Okay.
But anyway,
remind
home
me.
start. There was the home start teacher used to come to the house, and we had just butchered the Oscar. And I would say, Oscar's in the freezer. Oscar's in the freezer. And my dad would say that teacher left here and never came back again, thinking Oscar was a person that we killed and put in the freezer. You don't remember Junior ever telling that story?
No.
He always told that story.
Well, he knew it better than me then, because I never remembered that story. Well, we always did talk about Oscar being in the freezer.
Yeah. So here's
Oscar was our pet.
This is my grandmother Sadie. She was talking about my mom's mother, my dad's mother. I'm sorry, and my dad's father. You say my pop used to take you to school.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Grandma used to have her come and fix her up, and that was your kind of her daughter. Took her.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, because her daughter was gone.
Okay, Mom. So you was talking about the farm and that big old tree that fell down.
Mm-hmm.
That's when y'all were young.
Yes.
Um,
As a matter of fact, I don't know if you want to remember that. There was a lot of water down there, stopped up, and we used to go up there and swim right in the gully down there.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Now
right-
Luther now would probably remember more than Wanda would, but I remember we used to go down there and swim. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. But something the mine did that kind of ruined the water, so we had to stop that.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you were around 6,
And
whenever
7.
6
Yeah.
and 7.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking Aunt Wanda also about picking berries, because I know when we was coming up, you used to have us up
my.
picking berries.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all do a lot of berry picking
Oh
back
yes,
in the day too?
yes, and I probably did more than Wanda, cause I love
Yeah, she
picking
said
berries.
she didn't remember doing
I
that.
love picking berries. We had to get we put on overalls and then put turpentine
Around your-
around our feet
For the
because
bugs?
that's supposed to chase snakes away.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm. We used a lot of turpentine.
Hmm.
I don't know if it worked or not, but we never bothered about snakes and
Mhm.
picking berries.
So blackberries, raspberries, and you.
Yes, and even dewberries.
Oh, see, I don't know what
Mhm.
dewberries. Huh.
Dewberries are the kind of berries that go real close to the ground, but they look like blackberries.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you raised us up to go out pick berries, and I remember 5-gallon buckets. We'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
early.
y'all
Got to get up
sold
early in the morning.
berries.
Yeah, we sold
Mhm.
berries. Yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah, right around this same area.
Mhm.
Mountain
As
Woods
a matter of
Picking.
fact, I think it might have been 2 years ago that Julian found a place up in Chaplin that had a lot of berries in it. He said, "Mom, you want to go pick berries?" I said, "Yeah, Booby, but you know I can't do much walking." So he said, "Well, I'm gonna drive. I can drive most of the way up there."
Mm-hmm.
And so I went berry picking with Julian
Mm.
just about 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
got to get out early before the sun gets
Yes.
too hot.
Oh, yes. Yeah. When the sun come up, it's about time to finish. Then we'd all come back with blue mouth, like we ate more than we picked.
So Mom, I want to ask you about how old you were when your father died. I think you said
I was 8 years
8 years
old.
old, okay.
Mm-hmm. And we were all in school.
Okay.
And the teacher said, for all the times.
Well, let me. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm going to back you up.
Okay.
I want to back you up to talk about before the tragedy. Talk about how your dad was. What kind of person your dad was.
Oh,
what kind of
my.
person your mom was. Talk about in their relationship and how they got along.
Oh my, they were
Talk a little bit
very,
about that.
very good parents. And what I appreciated a lot about my dad, I can appreciate it more now that I've grown. But I always, Dad, there wasn't anything Mom was doing that Dad wouldn't help her with. Even though he worked in the mines, if he came home and she was giving us baths or washing our hair or doing anything,
Jump
Dad
right in.
would jump right in. And
Wow.
I was jealous because he always wanted to do Wanda's hair because Wanda's hair was better than my hair. And so he always wanted to do Wanda's hair because it was easier for him. Yeah, I was kind of jealous about that. I
Oh.
definitely was.
But a very loving man.
Oh yes, my goodness. Oh yes, he was lovingly with his mining belt too. And we won't forget a mining belt, I'm sure. Of course, I don't think he whipped the girls with the mining belt. That was mainly for the guys. I don't even remember getting no mining belt whipping, but I used to just be praying a lot for the boys because they got it with the mining belt.
Oh, really?
And the mining belt was a thick belt, and it looked like on the ends of it, it had 2 little belts that I guess you fasten it with. But that's what they got a whipping with.
Now, what kind of things would bring along the whip? Just not doing your chores or just kind of cutting up?
I really don't
do.
remember. I really don't remember because, to a kid, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't think you're doing nothing wrong.
Unless you're talking back or something.
Yeah,
or
we never.
sass
There was
or-
no such thing as
Either
talking
if you
back.
if you roll your eyes a certain way, you're getting knocked
All
out.
right, that's right for sure. Because they say straighten those eyes up.
Uh-huh.
Oh yes.
Now your mom, what kind of mother was she? Because I know this is my mom. You're my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, you're the best mom in the world. We grew
Well,
up.
I feel like I had the best mom in the world.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. So,
Mhm.
because we grew
Mhm.
up, I mean, Saturday mornings, I'll never forget the smell of bread in the morning. Sneaking down here and getting about 6 or 7 of them rolls, putting that butter and jelly on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or them sneaking in that cake batter. That nothing like that good old pound cake batter. I would sneak in it and try to get. I think I got by with it, but we'd take the big tablespoons and get a couple
Oh,
of bites
don't
of
you
your
know
cake
that
batter.
we did the same thing when Mama they used a wooden spoon to mix the butter and the sugar up in the bowl together.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have no mixer, so she did it all by hand. If she had to put that bowl down and go get something, we was behind the stove, but we'd get up there and take some of that butter and just butter and sugar. Oh, it tasted so good. I guess it was even better because we was stealing it.
Just the butter and sugar.
Yes, yes.
So she did a lot of
yes.
baking too. Did she make bread?
Yes,
how
she
do you learn
made
your
bread. Oh,
From
I
your
didn't
mom?
learn from her. No,
Okay.
no, I was too young then.
Oh, okay. But she did make her own bread.
Yeah, she made her bread, biscuits, and all.
Uh huh.
Yes, she did.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
See, I remember too, Mom, getting milk from the cow. So your
and
mom and dad had cows? Or-
No, they didn't have.
Oh,
any.
okay.
And they lived in a company house up
Oh,
on
okay. Yeah.
Birchwood Hill.
Yeah.
So
okay.
they didn't have any animals at all up there. So it was just down here where I remember a lot of the animals and
Mhm.
things right here at Nanny's and Pop's.
Mhm.
But it was good. I never did Pop with milk and sometimes Nanny. But when they'd get about a gallon of milk at a time. And then Nanny would let it set so that the cream could come to the top.
Mhm.
I would steal the cream
Hmm.
off the milk. And I still love milk.
That's why you like old milk. So.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes,
Wow.
indeed.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm. So wow.
I hope I don't ever have to stop drinking milk because I really love milk. I like the taste of milk.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't have to be cold
Also,
because I can drink it room temperature.
yeah, if I drink milk, I like to have it cold. Ice cold.
No way.
Ice cold. So, your mom and dad. So I remember I wanted to tell them the stories about going to your dad to take you to the airport just to watch the airplanes.
Oh, yes. Think one time. He would take us, and this one time we went in the airplane. I don't know, he must have knew somebody there, but they let us go in and walk around and see what the airplane was about. And then too, usually every Sunday we had a Model T Ford. Dad would take us to Fairmont to visit relatives in Fairmont.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday was our together day, so we would go visiting on that day. So I remember meeting Vest. What was Vest's name? Sylvester, and his older brother. What was his older brother named? Jeremy. What was his older brother name?
I don't know, Mom. I wasn't
No,
born.
but I thought he came to visit me before he passed away. And when I met him down at the Bunny Hop one time, and I called myself liking him.
Sylvester.
Found out Sylvester. We called him Vest, and it was he lived in California, and we went to visit him when we went to California too. But since then, he's passed away. I don't know why I can't remember his name now. It's gonna come to me after you're gone.
That's okay. We'll pick up another day
Yeah,
too.
but
So y'all went to California. Did y'all drive? Didn't fly?
not then. No, this was recent
Oh, okay,
years that we
whenever-
went
okay,
to California.
I thought-
Yeah,
okay.
no. We thought it was something going to Fairmont. But we did learn some of our relatives then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Wanda remembered them or not, but for a while we were visiting quite often in Fairmont.
Mm-hmm.
And Monongah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of the family was.
Yeah.
I can remember cousin Sam and Arthur Lester, Rudy. That's where all they come from. That's who we used to visit.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a family man.
Mm-hmm.
And he did things for the family so that we would know who our relatives were. And of course, who's doing that nowadays?
Right. Now, I think I wrote down, because your father was Curtis Sr.
Mm-hmm. Then my brother was a bully. He realized that when he says something, everybody moves and get out of his way. So he was a big bully.
Mm.
And so I was too close to his age for him to bully me, and I wouldn't let him bully me. And we was out playing.
This is my Uncle Kurt, your brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. We was out playing baseball with a homemade baseball. You ball up some newspaper and then put that black tape around it. That was our baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And any kind of stick was the bat. So this one day, it was my turn to bat. And he said it wasn't my turn. I said it was. So I held on to that bat, and he was so much bigger than me. He slung me around, round and around, and I was still holding on to that bat. And in the process, I got this. Cut my knee right there.
I thought that's where, right. Okay. This is where you had surgery right
Yeah.
here. But
Maybe it's this. Wait a minute. This is the surgery. That's down here.
That there.
And it was just bleeding so bad. And he cried so hard. Grandma, take her to the doctor. I don't want her
He
to
felt
die.
so bad.
Oh yes. He started crying before because I didn't feel it. I was upset. So when you're like that, you don't hardly feel nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when he started crying and I saw the blood. That's when I started crying. But yeah, he was a bully, and I wasn't taking nothing from him.
Did Granddad get a whipping for that one, or he was too old?
No. Granddaddy was hardly ever home for anything that went on.
Oh, so your dad was already gone when that happened.
Oh yeah, that's when we moved from Perslow down here.
Okay.
See, when my dad got killed, my mom took the money from the miners
And bought that.
and bought the house down here.
Okay,
No
so
savings.
that's where I was wanting to talk about some of the good memories that you had before the tragedy hit. The mining accident.
Oh, I remember we used to go picking blackberries, Mr. Hughes and my daddy were good friends. I don't know if you don't know anything about the Hugheses, I don't guess. But anyway, they're the same Hugheses that Aunt Kitty and Aunt Sarah married. Well, I didn't know them then, but I knew their dad.
Oh, okay.
It was their dad.
Mm-hmm.
That when my dad was real good friends. So they had a daughter close to my age named Laura Pearl. And
What's her name?
Laura Pearl.
Laura Pearl.
Mm-hmm. And so when we'd go over there or they'd come over here, my daddy would take Laura Pearl up on his shoulders like this and carry us across the hill. And Mr. George was his name. He would pick me up like that, and we'd walk through the woods like that. And so that's one of my good memories. I used to ride on Mr. George's back shoulders through the woods.
Wow.
They did a lot with the kids then.
Man, how times have changed.
Oh yes, my goodness. It's something if they just find out who their father really is nowadays. That's just how it's gone from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember those days, and I guess I was raised in the woods because we did, even on First Love Hill, we played in the woods a lot. We'd go out in the morning and play up in the woods up over our house, and we'd come home when it's time to eat, and that's all. And my mom didn't worry about it as long as she knew where we were.
Now, what kind of time to eat, right? Okay. Now, I know when we grew up, Mom, I know we had beans at least once a week. We was going to have some beans. We was going to have We had neck bones every so often.
Mm-hmm.
We had some fried pork chops. I remember fried pork chop
Yes,
dinner.
that was a luxury.
I don't remember a whole lot of spaghetti. I remember you making chili every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Soup,
Yes.
big on soups.
Mhm.
So what kind of meals did you guys have when you were, that you can remember one of your favorite, maybe your favorite meal or
I don't know, but I
desserts
remember
or-
I remember when we had spinach quite often, and none of us liked spinach, and then we had always, me and Judy Kirk was bad about that. We would tell Wanda and Lucy, now, look at that rat over there. And they'd turn their head and we'd sneak our spinach on their plate. They
Wanda
never
told
knew.
me.
They never knew the difference. Never knew the difference. We got away with eating a lot of spinach. I don't even know if they ever knew, because it never did get old.
Did you? I don't know if you watched the interview with her, Aunt Wanda. Because she said she remembers. She said she didn't know back then. Maybe till y'all got older, and she knew. Y'all told on it yourself. They never knew. That's what she said. They never knew. So you was one of them, because she named.
Yes, I was.
I think she named the boys, or maybe she said the older ones.
Yeah, it was me too. I was right there too. I surely was.
Y'all was ornery. So did you have plenty of liver too? Because I know I never did like liver, and you'd make liver every now and then.
I don't remember much eating liver when I was coming up. I don't remember that at all. So maybe we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I one thing I'll never forget. My dad used to fry onions in castor oil and eat them. Now that was supposed to be good for a cold or something. But we couldn't stand cod liver oil. We have to take it was castor oil. When we took castor oil, we always got castor oil with a half of orange. We didn't have a whole orange. Each one of us got a piece of orange, so we could take it after we took a swig of castor oil.
Now this is your father you talking about.
Yeah.
This your dad.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And this is your mother you're talking about.
Yes.
So that's his sweetheart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's Uncle Kurt he holding, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all call him Junie Kurt.
Junie Kurt. That's what we call
So
him.
this is my grandfather and grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh yes.
And Uncle Kurt. Uncle Kurt's gone on to be one of the ancestors.
Yes.
Part of the great cloud of witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are our. So this is my Aunt Sarah's sister.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And this is the Boyds, and this is the Gibson side over here. My grandfather was a Gibson. My grandmother was a Boyd.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And many of my aunts told me that my mother, actually, they felt that she grieved herself to death.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to, yeah.
Aunt Sarah's the main one that told me that, because she never did get along since he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She never got her strength back after he passed away.
So talk a little bit about that, Mom. What is going on whenever you got, because you started saying y'all was in school and the teacher came and got you.
Oh yeah.
Whenever Granddad.
Thomas, all the boys.
It was Gibsons.
All the Gibsons to go home. You are to go home immediately. And it's something how teachers did. They, we walked up that road from the school home. Mm-hmm. They didn't think nothing of it. All of us kids. Now, I don't know how old Junior Kurt was. How old did I say I was? Oh, I was 8, so he must have been 9. He must have been about 12, 13. Mm-hmm. And we all walked home together. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if Wanda was in school or not.
She said she went to school with the older kids.
She did.
Early.
So she probably was with us when we was walking home. And we just thought, we was just so proud. Wonder why we get to go home, Kids don't like to go to school necessarily. Mm-hmm. So we was just wondering why we was so privileged to go home from school so early. But then when we got home, we got the news. Mm-hmm. That wasn't good news at all.
Probably couldn't even believe it. Huh?
So, you know, kids, and in my mind, I said, well, we won't get no more whippings with the mining belt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, T?
And that's what I was saying, you know, and that I know that's what the boys were saying. They won't be getting whippings with the mining belt no more. But then you think about what all the love that they gave you, and then I started missing him, and I wanted to see him, and I just started crying so hard. I'd go to sleep crying because I wanted to see my daddy. And I actually prayed and asked God to bring me my daddy back. Bring my daddy back. I want to see my daddy. And the Lord showed me him coming up the railroad track with his lunchbox in his hand. And I was running out to meet him. I was so glad he was coming home. But the closer he got, the more I saw that his face was all cut up and was bloody. And I kept saying, no, Lord, not like that. I don't want my daddy like that. And he said to me, that's the way it is. So I was satisfied after that. But we did pretty good, I believe. I think because here Grandma had, how many girls did she have? I don't know how many daughters she had, but she had about 13 kids. And of course, they was all grown.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They were all grown, but still, she had raised her family, and here she was, again, raising 5 more kids. So I think she did wonderful. And I don't believe, of course, I don't feel that we was an extra weight on her. I know we were, but I meant to the point where it hindered her from doing what she would want to do, because she was still taking care of some of her older kids. They would get married and they wouldn't stay with their husbands, and then they would come back to Grandma, and Grandma never refused none of them. I don't even know if she ever told any of them to go back to their husbands or not, but she accepted all of them. And so at times that house was really full because it was us 5 and Granddaddy and Grandma, and then there was Hattie, she would come, Aunt Kitty, she would come, Aunt Sarah, she would come, Molly would come, and it was just always somebody else at the house.
So that's
Always somebody else.
That's Doc Boyd and Lucy
Boyd.
Well, Luther Boyd
And Lucy.
That was the Bostic Boyd.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like Grandma did a good job. And it just was tragic that she didn't live to raise all of us, because she passed away when I think Wanda was how old? I don't remember how old she was. I was 14. So she was about 9 or 10, I think. Maybe a little older. But I was 14 and I had already had Katrina. So,
But we got to back up, Mom.
okay.
We'll just
Going
back
too
up.
far, huh?
Yeah.
All
But
right.
we got to back up because I want to cover that. So your father passed. I think I have the. He died in January of 1949.
Yeah.
And your mom dies in that same year.
Same
December.
year in December, right after Christmas.
So that's about 11 months.
Wasn't even a year.
Right. Your mom, and y'all said she died of a
Broken heart.
But after your father passed, that's when y'all went on to Osage Hill, bought that house.
Right.
And then then your mother passes 11 months later, and then that's when your grandparents moved in with you all
Right.
to take care of you all. Now and she laid out kind of what Osage Hill, Aunt Wanda was talking about, laid out what Osage Hill looked like. Because I can
Don't
remember.
you remember?
I remember Uncle Pete's house up there. It was on the corner, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
And there was other houses on the other side.
Right.
And then I remember
Out the road.
I remember on Aunt Kitty's side, where Miss Mabel lived up there, had a house.
She lived. Miss Mabel lived up the hill from us.
Okay.
Uh,
You lived on Aunt Kitty's side, y'all's house.
no. That's Aunt Kitty lived on the side where Aunt Sarah was.
Okay.
Going out the road.
Mm-hmm.
But we lived in the straight line this way, and Mabel was on the other side of the coon drops.
I should have got T over here. You remember all that stuff too, huh?
He might.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there was now so you're okay, so your mother, father gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now your grandparents are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now before that happened, you had, because Aunt Wanda was telling me about a shotgun wedding. Your grandmother made Lawrence before he went to the service.
No, she said it was on a furlough.
Oh, he came home.
He came home on a furlough.
You were already pregnant
Mm-hmm.
with Trina.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made Lawrence. She made Lawrence. Now I know she didn't literally have a shotgun.
No.
Shotgun.
She just had him picked up, and they told him why he was picked up.
Oh, the authorities got him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And just told him what was what, and he never argued or said anything. I mean, he never contested or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how I got married.
So was it law? If you got a woman pregnant, you would have to marry?
No, it wasn't no law.
Well, how come you can have him picked up? You understand any of that? How she was able to have him? Okay.
Mm-mm. I don't understand none of it.
Now, if you don't mind me digging a little bit, Mom, if you, like I said, I told Aunt Wanda, if there's anything that's too personal you don't want to talk about, you don't have to. Now, what kind of, was you and Lawrence relationship, dating, or just kind of a...
I wasn't of no age to date. Grandma wouldn't permit me to date. He would come up. Luther was his excuse to come up to the house.
But he wanted to get with you.
Well, I guess after a while he did. But he was honest. Because he told me...
So you liked him though, right?
Oh, sure.
It wasn't he didn't take advantage of it.
No. Mm-mm.
So you...
But what happened, he started coming because of Luther.
Oh,
Him and
okay.
Luther were real close buddies.
Oh, okay.
And
he
so...
had a liking to you.
Yeah, that's how he started liking me. But then after he got real serious, he said, I'm going to have to break it off with you because I'm older than you and I need things that you're not able to provide. Mm-hmm. So that's how we first started having anything to do with each other. I mean, intercourses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to know what he was talking about because I didn't know what he was talking about. Okay. And show you how ignorant I was when I told him I was pregnant. He said, well, maybe you just stand there real still and I'm going to hit you in the belly. Let him hit me because he was going to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't know no better either. You know that.
Yeah.
To hit me in the belly. And I was held still so he could hit me and get rid of it.
Must have hurt.
And I didn't know nothing about getting rid of no baby. I didn't know a thing. I didn't even know where the baby was going to come from. So that's how I ended up pregnant with Trina. Because I wanted to know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm older, and I need things that you're not able. So what things? So he began to show me and tell me. So that's how that happened.
Now I know, like years and years ago, back, I don't know if it was that time or earlier on, it was not uncommon for young ladies to get married at young ages. 14, 15. Back in the early 1800s or whatever, they would get married young.
Yeah. I learned that later, but I didn't think none of it then.
Right.
Of course, you know, we had a pretty good relationship, but I found out after I was pregnant that he had 2 more girls pregnant at the same time. Yeah, and I don't want to bring them into it. Yeah.
So I remember when y'all was getting married, Aunt Wanda said she didn't know about it until that day. I guess.
She was one of the witnesses.
Yes.
Yes.
Said Grandma called her in to be. She really didn't understand totally what was going on.
To tell you the truth, I didn't either.
Had the Reverend
But-
the minister came to the house.
Yes, he came to the house
Uh-huh.
and he spoke the proper words and pronounced us husband and wife. And for a while, I went over and stayed with Miss Emily. I stayed over at Lawrence's house.
Oh, okay.
And of course, we was glad we had the freedom and everything to do whatever we wanted to do then. But then when he went back to service,
You went home.
I went back home, and then that's when I found out about these others
Oh.
that he had pregnant at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so naturally, when he got out, we just got an annulment.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still kept in touch over the years after.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were 14. Then during that time, your grandmother passes.
Oh yes.
After you had Trina, or
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
did you want to look over Mom's death? Because I still remember that as if it just happened.
No, I don't want to look over anything.
Okay.
So take us back to.
Okay.
So your father passed.
Now, Aunt Sarah said, or was it Wanda? It was Luther said that Mom worked, but I don't remember her working. I really don't. Because I was doing things, I was really somewhat taking care of the house, doing things, you know, because Grandma told me when I was about 10 years old, she said, because I started cleaning the house, because Grandma, when she'd take up ashes, the floor would be white. You know how the dust fly everywhere.
Mhm.
And she'd leave the floor like that, and that's the way we used to live. But I started cleaning up the ashes. I started cleaning the house. And Grandma said, you expecting company? I said, no. I said, I just don't like to see all of this on the floor. So I started cleaning the house. And that's what Grandma used to say. I just started doing it. She didn't make me didn't have to make me do anything when it come to work. I just did it because I like to see the products after the fact.
Mhm.
So, but who was it? Lou. Uncle Lou said Mom worked, but I don't remember that at all. But I do remember that this was a Saturday morning, and I think I was helping her fix some breakfast.
So it was December.
It was in
So it's
December.
cold.
Mm-hmm. And I was in the,
wintry morning.
yeah, and we was in the kitchen, and we had a bench. It wasn't no bench with a back, but it was just a straight bench that was up against the wall. And she started to eat, and then she just fell back like this. And Mr. Bo said, Patty, help your mom, help your mom, help your mom. And she never did come to. So between carrying her from the kitchen, not carrying her, dragging her,
Yeah.
because you know dead weight is really, really heavy, and so he had her arms, and I had her feet, and we drug her from the kitchen into the living room and put her on the couch. But as she was going, everything started leaving her body.
Oh.
That's the first time I knew that's what happened when people die. That their insides come out. Not their insides, but waste comes out. Mm-hmm.
Bowels.
Yes. And that's when Mr.
Bladder
Bo said,
empties.
she's gone, she's gone. So she, she never gained consciousness or nothing. So that was it. And I didn't understand how Mr. Bo could do what he did because he was a man on crutches. But he helped get her from the kitchen into the living room. And then after she died, I didn't want to live no more. And I told the Lord, I don't want to go on. I don't want to live no more. If you have to take somebody else, take me. Because I'm tired of... See, when I was little, I had 3 or 4 grandmothers. I had all of these grandmothers. And then I saw my sister pass away, my grandmother passed, Grandma Streets passed away, and it just seemed like everybody that I cared about was just being taken. My daddy was gone, my mom was gone. No, I didn't I didn't even want to go on. So I didn't eat, I didn't dress, I didn't comb my hair, I did not do anything. And when Nanny came over and she saw what state I was in, she said, "You're going home with me." So she took me home, fixed me a big hot toddy, and fixed me a bath. I got a bath and got in the bed, and then the next day I felt like I was a new person. I really did. I felt like a new person. That really, I don't know, but it just did something for me. She just seemed to have revived me.
You needed that.
Yes, I did.
At that
yes,
stage.
I did.
And it's
because she understood, I guess, how I felt, because I really didn't care if I didn't live
tragedy.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, you know what, it's amazing to me, Mom, how God works.
Oh, yes. He works in mysterious ways, and that is the truth.
Just Grandma, well, that's my dad's mother, seeing the state you were in and saying, you know what, I got to do something about this.
Yeah, she said, "Are you going home with me?"
Going home with me. And so how come, well, I was going to say, how come you just didn't stay with her? Well, you were 14.
I wasn't that old.
Oh, well, your mother, you were younger.
Yeah,
So,
I was younger.
So that's your, okay, when your mom died, that's when your grandparents moved in and started taking care of you all. Okay. Because I was going to say, why didn't you just continue to stay with Grandma?
But I was still underage, and I was in her care. I was in Grandma's care. But she sure brought me back from where I was, and I knew that.
That was Miss Sadie.
Yeah.
That's what I always used to call her, Miss Sadie.
How long did you stay when she took her? Just a couple days or just the next day?
It must have been about 2 or 3 days. Because, see, Grandma was grieving.
You didn't have Trini yet.
No, she was grieving for her daughter.
Oh.
So I guess she wasn't paying much attention to us.
Yeah, because she's still.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yep. And I never had thought about it, about her grieving for her daughter and not being able to attend to us. But I don't know. I don't even know how the others managed, because I just did not care about nothing. I did not want to go on living. I did not want to do anything whatsoever. I just
that's a
told
good
the
thing
Lord.
she took you for a little while.
Oh, yes.
Until you can get back.
Yes,
Get yourself
indeed.
back.
Yes, indeed. I know it was.
Because maybe the other ones weren't that far. They must not have been.
Right. Because I was missing my grandma. I was with my sister when she died, and all those grandmas I had, and then all at once I ain't got none hardly, but this one grandma. I was really in a state. I was old enough to know that I did not want to live anymore.
Yeah.
So I thank the Lord I got through it. Thank the Lord. And of course, it wasn't then when he told me that I wouldn't have to die anymore. It was after I received the Holy Ghost that he told me, now you don't have to die no more, because you're already taken care of.
Yeah. So okay. So now, I think we already talked about your grandmother and grandfather moved in with you all. Granddad passed first, right, and then grandmother passes.
And I want to say this because she's gone now, but really, I was old enough to know when Auntie Molly said what she said to me. It really hurt me so bad. She said, "You kids is what killed my mom." And that hurt me so bad.
So it was Hattie's sister.
No. She told me that.
Oh, because the grandmother took you all in. And then, so she was saying that
we're the ones that killed her mom. Because
Now,
she took in 5 kids.
Oh.
She took in 5 kids after raising her kids, but just knowing that her kids was still not acting grown, because They fall out with their man. They was right
went
back
back
in,
home.
right back there on grandma.
And y'all was young.
And
y'all
they
younger than
wasn't
them.
right, and they
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about what they were putting on grandma.
Right.
Well, she wasn't anyway.
So it wasn't y'all.
So I told Nanny that. Nanny said, "No, that was terrible." Nanny said, "There's no such thing." And she said, "If it was anything, it was them bringing all their stuff back home to their mama
Yeah. Yeah.
that did it, because we didn't have nobody, but they had somebody."
Mm-hmm. So your grandfather's name was Doc Boyd.
Mm-hmm. His name was Luther Boyd.
Luther.
They called him Doc.
Now
yes.
he's the one they said used to get drunk, right?
all
Go
the
down
time.
to the beer garden.
All the time.
And he used to give y'all
Wouldn't come
money.
home until.
That's when y'all used to give y'all. He give y'all be nice and
Oh
give
my.
them whatever. What
Oh
say?
yes, he did. Give them kids what they want. Just give it to them. I
Put
mean,
it on
that's
his tab.
yeah. hmm Oh, he was a big shot in those safes. Big shot. Oh yes.
And then they said, was y'all telling me that he would get mad at grandma,
Oh yes.
and throw her plate or
Oh
out the
yes.
window and pots. And
Oh, he'd go out on the porch from the kitchen to the other porch and throw it over the hill, and we had to go get the pot and everything over the hill, from over the hill, and bring it back. Yes.
He was.
Oh yes, he'd get mad at her. I don't know why he had to throw it over the hill. I really don't understand that. I guess he just wanted to hurt her some kind of way. Grandma was so easy, so I think that's what aggravated him the most. That
It didn't get-
he couldn't upset her.
Oh. And then
So he would
tried-
just do things to try to upset her, and it wouldn't
work.
It wouldn't work. No.
So he passed first,
Yes, he did. He
and they
was.
say he was in a fit of anger, fit of
I
rage.
was right with him when he died,
Mhm.
and Grandma had fixed his chicken leg. It was a chicken leg. She had to fix it special for him. He didn't want it fried, so she had to do whatever she did with it. And she wasn't fixing it fast enough, and he'd come storming in the kitchen. Do I have to wait all day for this food? And she put it on a plate for him and gave it to him, and he stomped back in the bedroom. And before he could get to the bed, he fell right down on the floor by the bed.
Mm.
Never revived. And I used to tell your dad
You know.
about that story.
Mhm.
I said, you should not get that upset, because my granddaddy died that way, in a rage.
Mhm.
And I don't know if he ever took it to heart or not. But I sure would let him know that rage is not good. It's not good for nobody.
So after he passes, and then your grandmother passed not long after.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what she died?
I don't remember well, it was a heart attack, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But I remember I was with her in the hospital when she died. So
Same year or kind of?
no, it was
10 years
after
later?
that. Yeah, after I'd gotten pregnant and married and all of that. So she lasted a few years after Granddaddy died. But when she was in the hospital, I was with her when she died.
Mhm.
And I was sad, but I was not as sad because she kept calling on Jesus, 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 Jesus. It's hot, Jesus. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. I guess it was the temperature
Oh.
that her temp was going up out of range,
Mhm.
and she kept saying, "It's hot. It's hot. It's hot," but she never stopped calling on Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
So at this time, you were probably, what, 16 or so, 17?
Probably, because I had Trina. As a matter of fact, I had Dad before Grandma passed.
Oh, okay. So you were with Junior.
I was a junior then, yeah, but I was still at home when I had Dad, because Grandma took care of Dad sometimes. When he got a cold, she would rub him down in what was it called? Rub him in cow fat. I forgot what you call it. But she'd rub him down in that and put him next to the heater.
Mhm.
and helped me with the tea whenever he got sick. I know he don't remember because he was an infant then.
So I wanna back up because I think, like I said, I don't have this thing laid out probably like I should, organized. Now I remember hearing you talk about the bunny hop and how Uncle Luther was your dance partner.
Oh yes.
Now he got married young. He got married. I think you told me he's 18. So you were, when y'all was dance partners, were you married to my dad then, or was that before that?
Oh, way before your dad even came in the picture. That was still. I even had Trina. As a matter of fact, that was the years that Lawrence and I had gotten married, but I was still living with Grandma, and Lawrence was in service. And so when I would go, we would go out, we would end up dancing. Oh my, we was the talk of the town.
You and Uncle Luther?
Oh yes.
Did y'all practice, or y'all just had a little knack for dancing?
No. We
just could dance.
We both liked to dance, and so that's what we did. And I mean, they were talking about, and that was the time of Dick Clark's bandstand.
Okay, yeah. American
and
bandstand.
they were talking about getting up enough money to send us to Dick Clark's bandstand because they knew we could win.
Was it the 50s, 60s? Where are we at now? Probably.
I had Trina. So it was about 55, 56.
Okay.
That's about the time. Yeah. And I used to tell everybody, the Lord took my dance partner.
I think he tells the same thing. Because he got saved and he said he got to give it all up.
Oh,
Stop.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I said, and here we was going to go and make some money. And here he got saved. Oh, yes. Yeah, but I thank God he got saved. Because I don't know where we'd be if we hadn't got saved.
Because she was telling me about that little church y'all used to go to. Down in the number 2 Hollow?
Yeah, First Club Church. Well, that's when Mom and Dad and them was living. We used to go up there.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I guess we went with Grandma too when Grandma took us down here because that was her own church.
Was it a Methodist or Baptist?
Baptist.
Church?
It was Baptist.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember the preacher up there, Reverend Roper.
Roper. Was he a black pastor? Okay.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes, I remember that. And that's when. Actually, I remember the first time I ever felt a move of the Lord in me is when we were up there singing, because we had a choir there, and we were singing, I heard of a city called heaven. And I was singing that song, and something started getting over me, and I was so scared. I didn't know what I was going to do next, so I ran out the door.
It was the Spirit of the Lord.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I know now.
Yeah, you just didn't.
But
know.
I didn't
Scared
understand it then. I was in a Baptist church. So, they don't talk too much about receiving the Holy Ghost or anything like that. So I didn't know what was going to happen. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I ran out the door. Yep. I sure enough did.
Now, Mom, I remember I was talking about about the shack and having the choirs and stuff, and Julia was cracking up about she thought she could sing.
Yes.
Was that when you had the choirs at the shack? Or
oh, yes.
So how old were you around that time? Teenager years? Coming up through, probably so, huh?
Yeah, but see, it was 4 years after I had Trina. I had Dad too. So I was in the choir, but I missed a lot of the traveling because I had babies. Oh, yeah. But I did go on some of the trips with Walt Case. He was our director.
Wanda was talking about Case.
Yeah, and you saw the picture, didn't you? We got pictures of that choir.
Oh, yes, I did see pictures.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Wanda was talking about how the miners actually got together to build the pool over at the shack.
And we were so proud because our daddy put money in that pool. And we know could nobody stop us from going to the pool.
We lived at that pool almost every day.
And she talked about walking all the way from the hill.
Oh, yes.
All the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then eating fruit on the way back.
Oh, yes. you know, after you swim, and of course,
You get hungry.
Oh, definitely.
Because while you're having fun, you're running out hungry at that time. You just want to have fun.
No.
But on the way back, you probably just really
Oh, yes.
starved.
We'd eat anything we could find. There was plums up there, and mainly apples, because we'd eat even the crab apples. We ate everything. Blackberries, pick blackberries through the orchard. Yep. And it was something, because just like it is now, you have to worry about your kids. You have to know what your kids are doing and all of that. But then it was no concern about what happened to your kids. Because, of course, we were all together. And that's one thing Granddaddy used to fuss at us about. Because I was always the first one to get ready for school. And I would be waiting around for the rest of them. And he would say, if one of you get killed, all of you gonna get killed.
You're always together.
We're always gonna be together. Yeah, and that's the way it was. Yeah, he would fuss at us. Me mainly, because I was the main one that I would get ready first, and then I'd have to wait on the rest of them to get ready.
Now, who was this? Because I know Jerome was asking about this one fella. You mentioned him. Was that
Mr. Bowe?
Mr. Bowe. Now, who was? So, for the record, let's get this straight. Who was Mr. Bowe?
Mr. Bowe was a friend of Aunt Molly's, and
Okay.
Aunt Molly stayed with us at that time.
Okay.
And so I guess that's how Mr. Bowe in there. But you know, when Mom passed, I don't remember where Hottie was unless she was working somewhere. Because she wasn't home. Because she could have helped us with Mama, but she wasn't home at all. So she might have had a job then. You know, I don't really know, but she might have had a job working somewhere because she wasn't home. And me and Mr. Bowe's the one that tended to Mom.
Oh, okay. But he had a liking to Aunt Molly.
Yes,
That'd be
yes.
That's my great aunt, wouldn't it? That would be my great aunt.
Who?
Hottie. That was your aunt.
That's right. She
great
was my aunt, so she'd be your great aunt.
So I
Right.
remember she stayed, when I was young, she stayed with Aunt Kitty.
And then, do you remember when she stayed here for a little while?
Vaguely. I think you kept her for a while.
Remember, I don't know if you were still here or not, but Ahati came here. She was trying to kill herself. She said she came home to die, and somebody got her from the river. She was going into the river to drown herself, and somebody got her and brought her here.
Oh. Now, did she stay here before she went to stay with Aunt Kitty? Stay here briefly? Because I remember she lived with Aunt Kitty for a while.
I don't remember.
And I remember
who
Uncle
was
Horatius.
first.
I thought Uncle Horatius had lived with Aunt Kitty too for a while.
Yeah, but he never lived with anyone. He'd come and visit.
Oh, come and visit.
He never lived with anyone. He was always self-sufficient. He always had his own place. As a matter of fact, he had a restaurant that we never did get to go to. But we had talked about it. But see, he got sick, and I guess he didn't let nobody know that he was that sick and passed away before we even realized that he had had cancer too. So now when, doctors ask me about cancer in your family, I have to let them know that there was cancer on my father's side and cancer on my mother's side. Because Aunt Margie, Aunt Sarah, and Aunt Val, they all died of cancer.
Oh, okay. So, Mom, I want to jump to, unless there's something you want to throw in there.
I ain't got nothing right now.
Okay. To when, grandmother was raising you, grandfather. Grandmother passed. Well, grandfather passed first. Grandmother passes. Then, I think at this point, Uncle Luther was already married to Aunt Cheryl.
He was the first one to leave the nest.
And Uncle Kurt was
Even though I had a
already
baby, he was the first one to leave the nest.
out. Right. And Uncle Kurt was already gone too. So you're the oldest now. So now Aunt Lucy, Aunt Wanda, they go to.
To
Uncle
Aunt
Ernest?
Bertha's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here. Where were you when they went to Pittsburgh?
I was there.
You had to go to Pittsburgh too?
No, I was there.
There.
See, I had already had Trina, and I was of age because I was married and had my own income.
Oh, so you already married to Junior.
I was married to Lawrence.
But y'all
That
got
was
involved.
That
Okay.
was Junior's. Lawrence was Trina's dad.
Right. But y'all had your marriage annulled, so you didn't really
Well, see, you asked me about when Wanda and them went
went to Pittsburgh.
to Pittsburgh.
Right.
I didn't have Trina then. I was maybe 10, 11,
So where
11
were
or
you?
12. I was there at Grandma's.
But after grandma, that's why they left, because grandma and granddad passed away. And they went to Pittsburgh.
No.
When did they go to Pittsburgh?
Oh, that's right. They did go after Grandma died.
Right. She's the last one.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. When they went to Pittsburgh, where were you?
I was there in the house.
Who was with you? You was by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you then?
Trying to think.
Because Aunt Wanda, she's probably in the, I think she told me she was in the, 7th or 8th? No, that was, Aunt Lucy was in 7th, 8th grade. I think Aunt Wanda was like either a junior or a sophomore in high school. Because she said after she finished high school, she vowed that she was going to leave and go to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she only stayed there maybe a year, finished up her senior year maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So you must have been, well, you probably were 17. You was of age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you got married to Junior? You remember?
No, it was in the 60s. Because I was Karen Eric, I think, when me and Junior got married.
Oh, so you already had a few kids?
Yes,
Out of
by
the way.
him. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, because when I got pregnant the last time, Mr. Sam, I don't know if you knew Mr. You didn't know him. But anyway, he was an old man up there that lived in Mabel's house.
Oh,
Up there with Mabel.
Mm-hmm.
Mabel wasn't there at the time, I don't think. But anyway, he asked Grandma if I could marry, if he could take me for himself.
Mr. Sam?
Mr. Sam, he was an old man.
Mm-hmm.
But see, in the South, that's what they did.
What,
That's why
somebody
he kept.
help take care of him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because he kept saying to Grandma, these young bucks ain't gonna do nothing but keep getting her pregnant, and that's all, and they're not gonna do right by her.
He
But
gonna take
I'll
care
be
of
good.
you.
I'll be
Yeah.
good to her, Miss Boyd. Just let me have her. I'll be good to her. Thank God she didn't.
So I'm just trying to get straight, like when the two younger siblings had to go,
Yeah.
and then where were you?
I was
Were you
still. I
at
was
the
still
house by
at home.
yourself? Well, you
I
had
was still
you had,
at home.
So you had Trina
Trina
you had
and
JT,
Dad.
and so you was just pretty much taking care. How did you take care of manage the house? Because you didn't work, did you?
No, but I had
So
allotment coming from the government from Lawrence.
oh, okay.
That's the main thing Grandma wanted to make sure of, is that I had some income. Because if it was left up to him to just send me some money,
You probably wouldn't.
she didn't want to chance it.
Chance
So that's
Make
how
sure.
that happened.
Oh,
She
okay.
wanted to make sure.
So he's able to maintain
Mm-hmm.
the house
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. So I didn't really, because I was trying to get to like what kind of, like Aunt Wanda told me, there was not a whole lot of communication because there was not a whole lot of phone calls.
No.
Because she said she didn't really, during that time in Pittsburgh, she didn't have a whole lot of conversation with you
Right.
or any of her siblings back here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
true.
Uncle Luther wanted to see her interview because he didn't really know what life was like for them in
Right,
Pittsburgh.
right. And he probably would like to know,
Yeah.
sure.
So that's why he was wanting to watch
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Because I didn't really know much either.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we didn't have phones.
Baby bruh. There's my baby bruh.
Hey guys.
This is we just laid back.
Oh, okay.
So
We're gonna,
you can come on in.
Where did
You know,
Felisa go?
Probably in your room talking on the phone.
You guys
Oh,
gonna
okay.
do some editing later on?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want y'all to continue with your conversation.
So okay, so you eventually, so you said you married my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome the one?
Jerome was
So
the
you
one
are-
I
so-
was pregnant with when we got
So
married.
you had Trina, T, Julian,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were pregnant with Jerome.
Yes.
And then now, so you said,
And I told your dad,
okay, what'd you tell him? What'd you tell him?
I said I'd rather stay drunk every day in the week and go be with Mr. Sam Johnson than for let him to make a fool of me like this.
Oh, so you,
Yes,
put,
I
you put
did.
the law down.
Oh,
you,
yes, I did.
You said, okay,
I meant it.
you gonna make an honest woman out of me,
Oh,
or
yes.
I'm going to be with Mr. Sam.
Yes, indeed.
Old man Sam. So he did
Oh,
just
yes.
that.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He knew I meant business. Oh, yes.
So how, if you don't mind me asking, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
how did kind of like, because you said Grandma, Miss Sadie,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Jenner was already in service,
Yes.
and you spent time because your mothers were Grandma Sadie and your mother were good friends.
Yes.
How did kind of a relationship kind of kindle between you and my dad? It just kind of happened, or just kind of.
Well, he came home from service.
Mhm.
And he acted like he was just shocked to see me.
Because you've probably grown up,
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
developed a little bit more,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
grown woman,
Oh, yes. So he's the one
looking kind of
start.
good.
He's the one start making passes at me.
Okay.
Not reminding me that he went to school with my mom. That I was just one of them young chicks.
Because there's 11 years between you.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. So he's the one that started it,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I just finished it. Yep. So he started courting me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, found out later that he always was courting a lot of folks,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't know that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was the main thing then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's how it happened with us.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was talking about Aunt Wanda. So she goes to graduates from high school. She goes on to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Lucy goes to Cleveland.
Yeah. The same time with her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not finished school, but I think she said Aunt Lucy was having some problems, so they had to put her in a boarding school. Did you hear that part?
No. At
Yeah.
the school,
Aunt,
she was having problems.
She was. I don't know what exactly she was going through, what kind of issues she was having, but they had to put her in a boarding school to finish up.
Well.
And that was on her interview.
Mhm. You clean my room up? I know it's a mess.
Oh, okay.
I ain't had no energy.
So when did you guys kind of reconnect?
Who?
Aunt Wanda. Oh, she said she used to come down here with Uncle Kurt. 'Cause Uncle Kurt,
Oh, yes.
he'd be traveling around.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, when we started having babies, we just made up our minds, you know. We wasn't going to lose touch, and we was going to make sure that our kids knew each other.
Oh, okay.
Because we were separated when we didn't want to be separated. It had nothing to do with it. But we made up our minds that we was going to keep our kids together.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a pretty good thing.
Now, Mom, I'm gonna go back just for, well.
Go ahead where you want to go. I can go with you.
Okay, I was just gonna talk about how we grew up. Okay, in this house. So. And
I thought I had sprouted wings when I moved up here. It wasn't nothing but a wood floor in
Okay.
here. But this room was so big.
Mhm.
We had the fireplace in here.
You was already familiar with this house because you spent
Oh,
many,
yes. Oh,
many
yes.
days here.
Oh, yes. As a
As a
matter
young
of fact, when Junior and I was courting and when nobody in this house, we came up and courted in this house.
Oh.
Now, you didn't have to know that, but, you know, that reminded me, and I don't have no better sense than to keep my mouth shut. So.
No, that's okay. That's a fun fact. So what let me see here. How old? No, I don't say how old, but who was the baby when y'all finally moved in here to this house?
Jeff. Jeff was the infant when I moved in this house.
So there are other times y'all was on Osage Hill.
We was up there in the chicken coop. You know what used to be Pop's chicken coop?
Oh.
He had that 4 rooms, and there was 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
5 of us living in 4 rooms.
Hmm.
I mean, I had 5 kids because Jeff was number 5. I believe he was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Nanny and Pop had already told us we could move in the house. Junior was dragging his feet again as usual. And I said, I'm going to move if he don't never move. So I'm the one that started the moving
Okay.
up to the house.
Let me pause right here real quick, Mom. We'll come right back. Okay.
Okay.